Okay, so there was a lot of different examples given in there in that last lesson. There's a lot of different parts that we're learning to add to our style sheets, and there's really a lot of them. I don't even use I only use maybe half of all the styles that are available to use to your web page. There's a lot that's just you may want to use them once or twice. You're never going to use them again, kind of thing. I just want to go through some of the more common areas that you're going to want to maybe tweak out on your web page or use apply styles to. Now, the first one I want to show is color. Now, color is probably the most commonly used attribute within style sheets. And there's a couple different ways that you can add color. So in this case, we've applied a style to a paragraph tag here, and you saw where we added color. Now, color can be added one of two different ways here. Actually, three different ways. We're going to take a look at two different ones here. Color can be applied by adding the color and the colon, and then you can type out the word. There's a couple hundred, I think, different words that you can type out to get different colors for. For the most part, to try to be as accurate as possible, we use web-safe colors, or we use hexadecimal colors. And what I'm going to show you here is I'm going to open up Photoshop, and this is where I get most of my hexadecimal colors from, is by just pulling them out of here, because it's one of the easiest ways to do it. So there's other ways you can do it online. Again, this is just for an example here. I can use my color picker here, and I can move around. Let's say I wanted to get this really, let's find a cool green. All right, that's cool green. All right, so if you know anything about color and the way that it's made up, you can look at it a couple different ways. If you're looking at it on a monitor, you use RGB, red, green, blue. If you're using this for print, you would use CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, black. But if you're using it for the web to be as accurate as possible, you use a hexadecimal color. Now it's made up of 6 different digits, whether it be numbers or letters, and it makes up whatever color you pick from. So you can see it starts out with a hashtag here, and then followed by 6 digits. And you can select any color that you want, and that hexadecimal color changes as I move around. So again, let's come back to a green here. That's cool. What I would do is just copy that color, and I'm just going to close out of that. And I'll come back and say I want to get rid of that cadet blue. I want to add my hexadecimal color. If you remember in Photoshop there, it started out with the hashtag or the pound sign. And in Dreamweaver, it actually comes up with a picker that I could use to find the color that I want here. And I could apply that hexadecimal color there. But in this case, I want to add my cool green. Oops, that seems to have deleted my hashtag. Go back and apply that. All right, cool. So what I can do is I can save that to take a look, and I hit refresh, and you can see my font color changed to that green. So again, I told you there are a couple different ways that you can apply colors to your document or to your whatever it is you're trying to stylize in here. Color is for font. Maybe I want to add a background color to this box that's here. So maybe I want to add what is background color. Now, if you're ever curious, you kind of know maybe what it starts out with. Most of your CSS, or excuse me, most of your HTML editors will have all the CSS options in there. So once you start typing, it may be easier just to find it that way. In this case, we're going to use background color. And again, the same way I could use a word here, one of the word colors, or I could use another hexadecimal color. In this case, let's use black, which is all zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll end it with a semicolon. So let's save that and see what that looks like. I'll hit refresh. All right, so that just filled in that text box that I created. That's 300 pixels wide. Has my green text on top of it, and is 100 pixels in. So I could keep on applying more and more styles to anything within here. I could create different versions of this, but this is kind of how it's done for the most part here. Now, as you saw, when I created my border, I changed the color of that, and I only used 3 numbers on this one. If it is a hexadecimal color that has all the same numbers within it, you can shorten it to just 3 numbers here. You can see that it still comes up as black. Proper way to do it is to add all 6 just to make 100% sure. I know some older browsers don't understand the 3 digits, but for the most part, most browsers nowadays understand both. So until you're really confident with the numbers that you're using for your hexadecimal color, I would suggest using all 6. I would suggest using a program if you can to pick that hexadecimal color. Depending on your HTML editor, it may come up with something already, but that is how you apply colors.